You got blah blah blah. Okay, yeah. Alright, how's everyone doing? I'm gonna I'm gonna start actually playing the project soon. I am just messing with volume stuff at the moment. If anyone is on the stream, tell me how the volume is compared to each other. Like my voice versus the background music, if it's too loud or anything like that. Um, I think I should be good to start. Um, I mean, like my voice is coming in from the meters. I can tell it's louder than the actual music, but I don't know if it's a good level above it. Alright. So, I'm playing through this stream a bunch of my old video game projects, most of them unfinished, and whatever. I'm playing through all my video game projects, most of them are unfinished, and all that. Let's run it back. No one's here. Let's run it back. In today's stream, I'm playing through not all. In today's stream, I am playing through a bunch of my old unreleased projects, basically giving a brief timeline of projects up until where I'm currently at. The first project I have is when were you made? It was made in 2016. So this is not the first game I made. I messed around a bit in Click Team before I made the proper move to Game Maker. And I don't regret it. God, Click Team it ain't for me. It ain't for me. What's good for Five Nights at Freddy's is not good for me. But Game Maker did it. Did the Sarah Spalding tutorials and got the platformer stuff in. That's basically how I started back in 2016. And let's get into it. Okay, let me turn off the soundtrack. Alright, it's a bit too quiet. It's a bit too quiet now. Where's the window? There's the window. Okay. So this is Skullboy Finds His Home ? And this is one of the first projects I've said this already. This is the first proper game I made. It's not finished. None of the things I'm going to play today really going to be finished, except for maybe the last one or two. Oh no, there's one. It's not finished. That's the fate of it. I'm going to click start just so there's music in the background. And I can adjust that volume. Is that too quiet? It seems like it's saying no music or any music, whatever. Alright, so again, this first project I made, you'll see it's very recognizable just from tutorials and all that. I wanted to have a limited color palette, but I guess I threw that out the moment I wanted the background to be differentiated from the actual game. Because I wanted the 4 colors in the brick and stuff you can see. And then I went, oh no, background can be black. And I guess the moon can glow and completely ruin the limited color palette kind of aesthetic. Sure. There's just blue bars at the end of each screen, because, what else would it be? But this is what actually transitions each room. Go through very basic things, just spikes and enemies. I had these little cannons that you would jump off to get further in certain parts. There's absolutely no quality of life features, no coyote time, no jump buffer or anything like that. Something that I couldn't make a game without, just because it makes it feel so much significantly better. But, Alright, we're heading into the... Oh wait, no, not this screen. It's okay. It's not this screen yet. Alright. Basically just expanding upon the cannonball mechanic for the most part, I suppose. Alright, through this section, we're heading into the boss fight. Well, there's 2 boss fights actually. We're heading into the boss fight. Now there's 2 ways this boss fight can be done. So there's the kind of intended original way of just kind of bouncing on top of the boss, waiting for the spikes to come through. But because of how I programmed it, there is variable jump height. And if you're not holding the jump button, you do just repeatedly jump on top of the boss and just totally bug it out. Boom, boss done instantly. I had these little falling platforms. A friend of mine, I don't know if he would want me saying his name or anything, made these falling platform sprites as well as the titular Skullboy. But yeah, huge falling serene. You know, you need it's a good transition between areas. So now we're in this weird red area. Now, as for the music in this, I did just Google like royalty-free calm music, and I can't find the original upload. But I did not make original music for this. Because back in 2016, I didn't even make music for games yet. Well, at all. So that's odd. And I've tried finding the original, what song this actually is, and I got no idea. Again, this is pretty much just more of the same. The gimmick of this quote-unquote area is the conveyor belts. Oh, the grinder. But yeah, the cannon and the conveyor belts is just what's here. I remember the conveyor belts are one of the first things I ever like kind of got working by myself for the most part without like a tutorial. I didn't look up how to make conveyor belt tutorial or anything like that. I just kept trying to, I just kept doing a bunch of different stuff. And there's these fly enemies. That's the only time they ever appear. They this is the last screen in the game other than a boss fight. Oh yeah, you just go through the conveyor belts. When I was talking about how I was so proud of doing them, yeah, I didn't do them properly. Now, for a very select few of anyone watching, there's a song that's gonna play in the next room, and it's gonna give you a twinge of something. If you know, you know, from the classic days, and it might be really loud. I should adjust the volume because it's gonna be loud. So this is a boss fight. I'll spawn in with a random attack, and let's get into it. Yep, it's Papyrus Disbelief. What is it? What's the actual song called? It's like Interstellar Retribution or something. Papyrus Disbelief in my video game. Now I don't actually know who made the song. I should know her. But I just thought it was a banger and put it in, and I'm right. It goes ham. So I was playing that to get to the drop. We can kill that boss really quickly. Sorry if you're hearing keyboard spamming. It's a complete set pattern. It's not random or anything like that. And nothing happens when you actually kill the boss. It still spawns stuff and all that. And yeah, that's Skullboy. That's how Skullboy plays out, and it's finished. Well, it's not finished. That's the opposite of what I'm saying. That is how it ends, because it's unfinished. Yeah. So that's very early on, very most basic kind of project. Uh, what's next? Now I'm playing these roughly, very roughly in order. They're not actually in order with each other. When was this one? That was okay. This one was much earlier, but the EXE is not marked properly. So I don't know when this one was actually made, but this is another very early one called Arrow. Let me switch the game capture to it. Because the window ain't gonna do it. Yep, yeah. Transform. It works like that. Is the scale filtering set? Yes. Okay, that works. Now this game has no audio, well, has no music. So I'm going back to the clam shandy in the background. Um, Small plug, but clam shandy's me. Anyway, so basically, whatever this game is you're this whatever guy. The game feels way slower. I don't know if this is some sort of bug with just playing it like an old Game Maker 1.4 game, or it programmed it weird or whatever. But the game feels really slow, and I don't remember it feeling this slow. But yeah, this guy, you shoot arrows, and you just have to break the target on each screen. And it's very, very simple for that. It's just basically would be movement and hitting the arrows quick enough on targets. It's a very simple, very kind of old project. It's neat. I do like it. There's another, I tried to combine this idea with another idea that'll come up later into a more fleshed out kind of thing. And, oh, whoa. And that didn't end up panning out either, and I don't have the actual files for it for that one. Well, I probably do. I can probably do a second part to this stream if I so desire, because there's a lot. Here's the last level of the quote-unquote first world. Just gonna bring all the targets there, and then we're in this thing with balloons. Now, the gimmick of balloons is that you can break through them, but also stand on them. And that's set up so you learn, like, hey, you gotta be careful in this world to not break the balloons. And that's the last actual level. This level is just I don't know if this is gonna be a boss fight and the target is gonna come to life. I don't remember at all. But that's the last actual level. It just loops like this forever. Alright. So that was Arrow, just called Arrow. What's a good place to start now? Yeah, we can do that. So this one is just called Witcher, like Witcha, and let me switch the window. This is another early one. It's made in Game Maker Studio 2 though, where some of these aren't. Again, this is only rough order. And it's very intentionally like low res, kind of nice, limited palette platformer like thing, right? Sorry, I'm just checking something. Had these little frogs that you would walk into and they would tell you stuff. Very simple. I wanted to make a very small kind of project that I could finish decently quick, and I didn't even finish it. Again, no music, so we're just on Clam Shandy for the moment. Very basic platform movement. Unlike Arrow, where the slowness kind of felt really weird, I think this one adds to it quite a bit. I do kind of like how this one looks and moves and all that. Now here's a room where you get an upgrade. Now this is the only upgrade. I keep approaching this like it actually expands more upon this, but no, these are very short projects so most of the time. So now we can fire a crystal ball, because the player is holding a little crystal ball with X, and you create these little projectiles. And it's kind of annoying to aim in this first area, but yeah, you can break through these blocks, fall down, and now you're in this other little area. It's not actually drastically different. There's water, but it's not, doesn't really change much. I do really like these log platforms though, just the bobbing up and down of them. For when I made this, that was pretty neat, borderline impressive. Then we've got enemies that would just kind of shoot this at you. No dying. A big common factor we might, no, I don't still won't pop up this much this stream. but don't add like you getting hurt and dying until like way sooner, like way later than I should in a project. Just I don't really know why. Just what's happened. Getting towards the, I think this is actually the last screen. You can see the level kind of cuts off like on the side here. So we're just gonna come here and fall forever. Yeah, that's the canon end. It means something. We're falling forever. It means something. Yeah. Yeah, no, the game's finished. It means, yeah, it's fine. Alright, but that's a game that I like quite a lot. It's neat. And now we have a bit of a lineage to go through for a moment. Let me open this up. So this one isn't, I'm technically not going to play this one. This is an old mobile game I made. So technically it was finished. I did release this one. And I don't have the original files for it anymore. It's made in GameMaker 1.4. And basically I couldn't update it because it needed to be a certain SDK version that GameMaker 1.4 didn't update to, and I didn't have GameMaker 2's Android export at the time. So I couldn't keep it updated, and eventually got taken down just because it wasn't updated SDK-wise to work on anything. Where's window capture? Sorry, I'm trying to add a thing in OBS. That's... Is that even popping up? I've got the right thing picked, but nothing's popping up. What if I play it for a sec? Because I'm just trying to stream VLC. Alright, then let's just open you in not VLC. Let's see if that does anything. Alright, window capture, change to whatever the actual Windows default player is called. Can it not? Wait. Can Discord just, I mean, not Discord. Can OBS not stream, what is it? Film and TV, the default Windows video player? It's just not popping up as a media source. Okay, different media player that functions exactly the same. Where are we at? There we are. Cool. So this is an old Android game I made where let's get to the title screen. Called White Space. Every time I say it, it sounds racist. Every time I say it. That ain't the intention. But one of the really old project I made. And it's basically a shoot 'em up. Well, it's not a shoot 'em up. It's basically a bullet hell where you can only dodge left and right. It's also the first game I made music for, and you'll hear that very apparently. That's amazing. Let's turn that down a bit. Now this footage might be laggy. I recorded this mere moments ago, because I didn't want to install an Android emulator on my actual computer, but there was one on my laptop, so hey, I just recorded the footage. Because also, I didn't have the APK for this. It was just found... I mean, thanks to shady APK scraping websites, I was able to get like, archive this game for myself. Which really I should have, because I made it. But, hey, shady APK websites came in clutch. So again, just basic dodging stuff, all that. And again, this is the first time I made music for any project, and it's very simple. It's very basic FL Studio built-in drums, probably FPC, and the most basic kind of. It's just C E G A E for the arpeggio playing in the background. It's the most basic thing you could ever imagine. Now there was two modes to this game. That was the basic mode, and there was a quote-unquote extreme mode. But the Android emulator I was using was bugged, so nothing popped up. Like the projectiles were invisible. So yeah, I got no idea. But like, that's what the game was. Very basic thing like that. There was no kind of microtransactions or anything. There was ads that would occasionally pop up, I think, but I didn't have like full screen ads or anything. Um, but that's how that went. Now, what is there anything else significant to bring up about it? Nah, okay, we're done with that part. But anyway, the reason why I bring that up is because, well, it's semi-important because that's one of the first things I made. It is an important game to my lineage. Uh, is because here's a much more complete game that is based on it. Now, is that audio-wise coming through? That needs to be turned up a bit. Yeah. So here's a game called Whitespace Brisk. The actual folder is called Whitespace Brisk Tone because there was another Whitespace Brisk. You can see I was much better at making music at this point, but I still kept the little arpeggio here, the C major arpeggio, and I like that. It sounds much better here than it did. Now this was much later than that game, by a significant amount. But I don't know exactly what year. What year? I was definitely still in high school. What year? This is saying 2019, so that's the year I graduated, I think. Yeah. But I don't know if that's dated properly because these files have been moved around and blah blah blah. So a few things I want to talk about for this is, okay, let's just do the first level. So this is the more like kind of traditional shmup, I guess. I wanted to make unique music for each level, so each level's got a unique track. It can be paused, right? Yeah, okay. I'm just kind of worried about how the music's coming through on the stream, so I keep pausing to check that. And all the songs are kind of balanced differently. So, damn. The central mechanic, I suppose, is that bar filling in the bottom left is your adrenaline bar, and when it's full, you shoot faster and can get hit. If you get hit without a full adrenaline bar, you die. That's the kind of balancing of that. The enemies, when you kill them, they'll drop money, blah blah blah. Basic stuff. And I just had to kind of, all this stuff's just programmed. It's not like random. I'm literally going, hey, if at frame like 240, spawn 2 enemies instead of like actually doing anything for certain parts. I think I have a basic state machine in checking stuff. So, we're at the end of the first thing. Now is a boss, and now we're at a recurring crossroads here. Of do I want to read my old dialogue writing? Because it's not good. I don't like reading it. Okay, I won't. But first of all, this sprite here, I remember making this, and being like, yeah, okay. And then I made a bunch of dialogue portraits that, I don't want to read the text. I don't want to read the text. But yeah. So anyway, first boss. This is Spindle, as the text just described. And it's basically just a bigger version of one of those spinning enemies with a few other attacks. Now again, this is a lot easier when you have the AD bar full. Yeah, you see, now that it's not full, it's kind of kicking you while you're down. Because now you just can't shoot as fast and you're gonna die. I mean, it recharges semi-quick, but yeah. Alright, that's the first boss down. Kind of have this result screen at the end. you would get more money if you did it no hit, and if you completed the level before, you would lose half the money. And if ending the level with a full AD bar gives you an extra couple bucks. If we head back to the level select and go to the shop. Yeah. Yeah. This is a song that I had a lot of fun making, I remember. It's made majority of Casio Rapman samples. It's an old, shitty Casio keyboard that had a bunch of quote-unquote rap music samples. Or, you know, stuff that would be used in it. So it's just like orchestra hits and stuff. It's weird. I love it. The actual shop itself, I remember staying up really late one morning to actually work on it. We've only got one upgrade worth of buying. What should we get? All of these aren't actually implemented. So we can increase our shot speed, we can get a homing bullet, and we can get an AD bomb, which is when we fill the AD bar, we get a little shield temporarily. I'm gonna go homing bullet. We can do level 2. Now again, there's only 3 levels and level 3 is unfinished. So we'll see how much money we get in the upgrades, and then I'm gonna hit the keyboard and see if I added a secret key that gives you a bunch of money, because I probably did. And this level's kind of more the same as the first one, unique enemies and stuff, but not gimmick wise, but mostly the same kind of gameplay of things spawning. This does help having the homing bullet, because I didn't have to aim as much. Yeah. But it's basically just introducing different enemy types that are kind of based on the boss. You'll see the boss will pop up and go, oh, those look just like bigger versions of the enemy sprite. And you know, that's what it is. I think this level is significantly harder than the first one, but I did kind of just spam stuff, so... Damn it. We'll run it back. Again, I wanted to make unique music for each stage in this game. Very much like not vaporwave, like kind of synthwave for it. At least that's what I wanted to. That was the intent. But yeah. Sorry, I'm logging in. If I do die one more time, I'm going to that shop and I'm spamming buttons. I will figure out the cheat code. My own cheat code. It's not cheating, I made the game, I can do whatever I want. Alright, it's not to reveal too much about how I program cheat codes, it's probably a page up. It's probably page up. No, that enters a weird like debug mode. Huh. Okay, it's just up arrow. Okay. Now then we have enough money to get by. So we're gonna see what a fully buffed white space brisk tone ship will look like. I could have made this more convenient to buy multiple upgrades. Now, I think shield works? I forget if shield works. Let's buy all of these and see if they work. I know they didn't have icons, but whatever. Alright, let's get into level 2. Alright, you'll see. Yep, the homing bullet's kind of coming. Yeah, the visible health bars and stuff. Okay, those upgrades do work. You can see the homing bullets working. What little magic they can. I'm also shooting much faster. I've got the AD stuff. If I get hit, you'll see the AD will regenerate a bit faster. And when I do, I get this big ass shield, and that just blocks everything. Well, bullets, not enemies. Now if I just stay completely still here, no, they are aimed at me, so I can't just do that. But I think this section is majoritively, what? Based on enemy. Oh, it's not based on enemy kills, it's just timer-wise. Okay, whatever. Yeah, but this section's considerably easier from what it was, considering I have all the upgrades that is to be expected. Alright, now this is the second boss. I believe it's the same text. Okay, cool. I don't have to worry about it. I believe internally this boss is called Malcolm. I've got no idea why, but when you make a sprite, sometimes you just know that that's Malcolm. That has to be Malcolm. Alright, now we cleared that really easily because again, we have all the upgrades. But, you know, level 3 was going to have this mechanic where kind of this sketchy thing would come down and create this kind of line and then send a bunch of enemies down it. You can see each time the line kind of comes up, it has like a drawing sound effect and the enemies come down. Now this again would be much easier without the upgrades. I mean much harder. But yeah, that was the gimmick for this level. You can see this level's not finished. I think this is the last attack programmed for it. No, okay, so it's the one after this. Now these enemies are really tanky. There was mostly going to be about, hey, if you see these specific enemies, you need to avoid them instead of trying to kill them. You could if you could focus on it. And then this is the last attack. Yep. Alright, nothing even comes through. It was just testing that can I just randomly across instead of having an actual path that it travels. And yeah, very exciting, very amazing attack. Now there is another version of White Space Brisk, the kind of sequel to the original that I couldn't find. If I do find it, I'll talk about it some other time because it was. You'll see that things carry over. Things are very similar in it. Now let's do Split End. Split End's an interesting one. Well, not that interesting. Visually interesting. So let's also get Clam Shandy back on just because there's no music in this game. Alright. So this is a basic like RPG. You've seen most of a bunch of the other ones have been platformers and the kind of bullet hell shmup of the last one. Where this is my first like RPG. Well, I've tried making RPGs before, but this is the RPG selection of what I have here tonight. So let's have a quick squiz. Now I'm gonna click new game, and then nothing's gonna happen. For some reason, in all my testing here, for some reason, it just takes forever to transition this room. So I'm gonna take this opportunity to have a drink. That's good. V refresh green apple lemonade. I feel like spamming the keyboard to do it works, but it doesn't. Okay, now we're in. Oh wait, okay, no music then. There is ambience playing. There's very faint wind-swept ambience. I'll have to turn that up, so you guys are gonna get deafened in the next game when I forget to turn it back down. So, very faint kind of audio and stuff here. Very kind of simplistic style. If I'm not mistaken, this clock is real. It's based on your actual time. I'm not reading the dialogue. You can pause and go back if you want to read that dialogue. It's nothing bad. It's just I don't like reading my own dialogue. Next area, that's the save point. That's for some reason just like a weird sprite that's like shaded differently than everything else, but that's fine. That is gonna occur more in just moments. Actually, wait. Mild, mild seizure warning. uh, you're gonna see my attempt at creating like a battle background, and it's just flashing lines. Um, yeah. I'm gonna run. What do you mean It said I did it successfully. Who made this? Who made this game? I'm gonna attack the enemy. Now, this is very unfair because I'm gonna die. It's stronger than me. And I think I'm stuck here. Turning that down. I think I'm stuck here. I think I didn't program coming back to life. So let me reopen the game and wait on this screen again. Again, gonna have another drink of my amazing, very fresh green apple lemonade. I don't know if amazing is the right word. Serviceable? Come on! Again, I don't know why this room transition takes specifically so long, because the other ones don't. And I made this, but I don't have the source code anymore, I think. It's from PCs past. So I got no idea. Oh, let me get my mouse off the screen. I got no idea. Let me turn off capture cursor in OBS. Again, it seems to help when I'm mashing buttons. Right, whatever. There was also a run button, so I can get through this a bit quicker, even though it just speeds you up. There's no speed up in the animation. It just looks kind of weird. Can I just get through? Oh, this like darker ground is where the fights are. Cool, I can just get through. Oh yeah, mysterious cutscene. Now here's a thing about when I used to make games. That character appearing and just saying, "You look like your mother. I hope you find her. I'll help you," or whatever. I had no idea what that was leading to. I just was making this. I didn't write down any documents of anything. There's a reason a bunch of these games aren't finished, because I didn't have any plan going into them. Now, I do like that as we're progressing, the background's getting more and more, like, intense with, like, the... Oh, come on, get me out of here. I'm not winning this battle. Alright, amazing. This is where I convey the fact that that was like the last screen of the game anyway. Nothing really happens after that. So that's how Split End ends. Sorry, I definitely didn't just mute briefly to burp after drinking the beer. So yeah, we've got a few loose ends before we get to a big one at the end. So this one as well. Seizure warning. Photosensitive warning. It's very bright. It's not flashing, but it's very bright colors that is kind of pulsing. So warning. Anyway, let's get into it. So this is a game that was called Jetpack. Lovely sound design, me. Amazing. Let's get the clam shandy on in the background, just to get this a bit less empty, and make these sound effects a bit more palatable, maybe. Who knows? So the gimmick of this is you would have a jetpack that would basically give you a double jump, but it wasn't permanent. It would fly off your back, and you would have to pick it up. In this, there's a magnet, so you lose the jetpack. You can't, like, it gets attracted to it, you can't go on without it, but you can find more. Secret collectible over here, you can't actually get it yet, but it's just kind of there to illuminate the fact that you can probably get it later. Now this particular bit of platforming is really annoying because you have to land the jetpack on the platform. Well, it's not too annoying, but you know. Now, puzzle mechanics of turning off magnets and stuff. Very... very generic boing noise. Amazing. So when you open this, you see this opened, and that lets you go back here and get this collectible. Do the collectibles do anything? No, I didn't get far along enough to actually do anything significant. Of course not. So, Magnet gets it here, so we have to regular platform this thing. Oh, I'm regretting the noises this ball character makes. The squishiness is fun to look at, but I don't know if it's gonna sound like that. I don't know if it's gonna sound like that, man. Why did I do that? Alright. Level ends, you get the flag. And then boom. So there was gonna be different jetpacks. This one is multiple jumps when you're landing it, kind of refreshes. Now this kind of spits in the face of the actual kind of face of the game, is when you use the jetpack you lose it and kind of it's not permanent. But whatever. Basically just lets me design more challenges. I guess I was already tired of the basic challenge from the other jetpack after one level. I don't know. Again, old design, I can't speak to what I was thinking. It's probably nothing like that. It's probably I think I made all the different jetpack variations that are in at the same time. Like it wasn't, I didn't go, oh, okay, new jetpack type. Usually I die at that consistently, so I guess talking through that made that easier. Next level. This level is unfinished, but you can see the introduction to the third jetpack type, which is just horizontal charge. And that's the end. I can get around the thing and fall off the screen, but that's how the game ends. That's jetpack. Yeah, alright, let's get that off screen while even if I'm gonna like talk about it a bit more, I don't want that flashing colors just on the screen. Yeah, that's jetpack. So what's next? I've talked about that one. I'm gonna skip that one because that's literally just the title screen. It's not interesting. I guess it's time. So this is a project. So let's mute that music and get this in. Game capture. This is Skit. Lovingly referred to as Project Skit. This is technically a remake of a different game that I then remade this, and that became Original Schism that came out in 2020, and then I remade it again into Greenhouse Schism that came out weeks ago. So I'm gonna say this a few times over the next coming minutes. I like sections, but if you want to play an actual game I finished, check out Greenhouse Schism on Steam, please. Anyways, the music coming through on this. Very early music I made. This is, I think I discovered this was 2018 is when I made this. Let me double check that. Yeah, sure. Yes. Very basic music. I do kind of like the really simple melody from this thing. I really like this. This title screen's not great, but I really like going to the settings menu when it actually goes down and it gets darker and the pattern changes. all that. You can rebind the controls. It's not a great rebinding system. You'll see that's better in Greenhouse Schism. You'll see it's better. I improved over 6 years. Who would have guessed? But let's go new game. So you fall into this thing. Now there's a reason the characters have like pale white skin, and that's because I was very much inspired by a game called Tess. But there's a reason why they have pale white skin in that game. That's because they were all wearing like masks. Like, not plastic. They might be plastic. It doesn't really matter what material they are. But I just latched onto that, and also this is a really bad like sprite and stuff. Again, this is out of order, so whatever. I do really like this effect with the text box coming in. That's cool. That's whatever. Every once in a while, something's neat from these older projects. There's stuff to take into the future. Save point. There's a health upgrade down here that we don't have a thing to break, and we are not coming back for it. The intention's to come back for it. Oh my god, the sound effects are so loud, aren't they? Yeah, okay. Let me adjust that down to be a similar level. That should be better. Are we still getting the actual music? Alright, that should be better, marginally. Hopefully. Well, now there's just no sound effects, but honestly, who cares? This is the screen that made me experience ego death, because after working on this game for so long, I just kind of went, what the fuck is this screen? It's just jumping up. What's the purpose? I need to get my head in the game and actually, you know, design screens to be based around some sort of mechanic or something. Like, my god. It's just jumping up. There's no unique platforming. It's just there to, like, I guess convey that you're climbing up a high thing. Nah, it's not a good screen. It makes me feel angry. Now here's bugged. You're meant to go through here and progress to the next screen. And you don't. It's bugged. In my time yesterday, let's head back to the title screen. I'm gonna do this off screen. But in my time yesterday when I was prepping a bunch of this stuff, I save edited and got a save that should get past that. Now I was using DS Maps in Game Maker to save, so I literally just opened this save in my newer game, and just manually edited stuff from that and uploaded the file again. I think I need to restart the game for the new save file to take place. It'll take a sec for the game to pop back up again. Alright, we are so back. Alright, let's load. And this is literally the next screen, I think. That screen was there, and you would continued into here. This is just a big screen to introduce you more to how these enemies work. Whatever the enemies are, I got no idea. I made it, but I got no idea. Alright, now, again, I'm skipping dialogue. You can pause and read this. I'm too embarrassed by whatever it says. Oh, okay, wait, let me spit it up. I don't like this. Cool, yep. Now, a bunch of this plot is thrown out. None of this is relevant to any of the Schism lore in any capacity. There's stuff that's, like, semi-relevant in original Schism, when compared to, like, Greenhouse Schism, even though it's not, because it's a complete remake, retelling, things are different. But there's things that are, like, consistently true through those two projects. This one, no. No way. But now we have this little thing we can attack now. Basically just shooting out these little projectiles. Again, save in. Do I design anything to be really interesting with this? No. Now there's a few things that later we're gonna see, and it's like bugged. It occurs that it's bugged. We gotta shoot through here. this is a decently far along project compared to other ones that I've talked about. It's not good. It's not good, no. There's no semblance of, like, being good at all. But, you know, that's what happens. Also, if you didn't destroy that block earlier, you just have to go all the way back. Great design. Great design. There's this thing which takes you into a cutscene, but I avoided it masterfully. And then this thing that doesn't take you into a cutscene. So this is Snail Cave. I think that, was it still called Snail Cave at the time? It might not have been called Snail Cave. It's called Snail Cave in Schism, original Schism, and then it was renamed to the Wisteria Caves in Greenhouse Schism. But I forget if it has a did something pop up on screen? Did it say Snail Cave? I should have been paying attention. I forget if I have like area announcements in this or not. Who knows? Very basic mechanics so far. These enemies shoot projectiles when they die. You have less friction on ice and also have a higher top speed, I'm pretty sure. Which is weird. It makes the platforming later on weird. I designed it with that weird platforming in mind, but that doesn't make it any less weird. Alright, that character again. Gets scanned, goes away. You come in here. Now this screen is above the one where the character chased you before, so that's the reason why we got chased. Cool, okay. It's not actually gonna play it. Damn, I'm gonna have to come back to that. Really? Is it really not gonna play it? I have a pet fury. I need to try something. If I reload the game. Title screen reload. Because when I was testing this shit, some things weren't actually saved properly. Or whatever, I thought it would come back. I thought it wouldn't save it until the actual cutscene. Annoying. You know what? Back to save editing. I'm just gonna reload that same save and run it back. Sorry, I gotta go to my app data folder and all that, because that's where the actual project is. Not the actual project, the saves. The saves! Alright, rename that to the proper thing. Get back in, have a sip of drink while it takes stream to update. Alright. Let's load in. Alright, we're speedrunning this. We're going as quick as we possibly can. Project Skit any percent speedrun. Alright, cool, let's go, let's go. Don't care about the plot, don't care about climbing the mountain to catch up with the sister character or whatever I think the story used to be. Probably should save, probably should save. That's not something I should be, avoiding, because I still could definitely die, if I'm playing poorly, which I am, because I'm trying to go as quickly as possible. Now, we're gonna see, because after this I am gonna play original Schism. We're gonna see how that significantly changes. Oh yeah, I'm trying to get hit here. Alright. We get sent to this area. And do you notice that in the background? Is that the motif that was in the White Space songs? I brought it back. But yeah, I just wanted to bring back that because I mean it's just an area that's black and white, so I thought, hey, the like white space kind of old song could work here. Then again, I don't know how old it was at the time because like, this is old as well. This is probably around a similar time to like when I even first made that, so it's whatever. Anyway, this is meant to be like a weird kind of dream sequence, whatever. And that happens. Then you spawn here and there's more dialogue I'm skipping. But you fall out of the sky, and the character's like, why the fuck did you fall out of the sky? Save. Let's get it here. Cool. So now there's these fans that blow you up and down. That's the mechanic here, is you kind of gotta adjust things to get through. Secret here, you can get up a secret path for a health upgrade. Yeah. That was also the thing that you had to backtrack before to get was a health upgrade. That would also just be really annoying to backtrack and get, if I'm being honest. So this is more of the same, just kind of platforming. Wait, does this have the... sorry. There's a thing that I've kept alive since... It might date back to here. No, okay, cool. I'll call attention to it then, playing through original Schism. Cool. So yeah, just very kind of basic platforming that doesn't control too well. Oh, I fell for the trick. I fell for the trick. You're not supposed to jump forward. You're supposed to just go up. That was the intention there. Definitely the intention was to launch people into spikes, but I fell for the trick. I hope there's not a lot of keyboard, like, clacking. Alright, so the secret of this one is if you hold Z, you kind of gain more momentum. So you have to do that to get up and then get down. Down around it, blah blah blah. I'm gonna head into here, and here's the boss fight. A boss fight. Now this character's not meant to be here yet. They're meant to be here after the boss fight. But I know program things too good. I don't do it. Well, not back then. I hopefully do it better now. So this is basically just the boss fight. It's just a kind of running away. Not really. It's just platforming on a time limit. You can't fall down. The original thing was, I remember at one point you like Super Mario 64 lava jumped off the thing on the bottom. But I think that's not working at the moment. That was the intention, I guess. But if you just fall into that, and like aren't on a platform beneath the screen, you're not getting back. You're really not getting back up. Now they're at the top, it just kind of does these attacks on the platforms. That one's much easier to dodge if you're on the other platform. But I'm not going to risk having to do that again. Cool, I can show off how to dodge that. Alright, you enter another cutscene. With a slightly different version of the white space motif in this area. Just the instrumentation of it, I think. We'll get back to that. I want to hear this song progress a bit more. Anyway. So this is meant to be whatever that thing is, actually. I want to say it's like, a bit of edgy dialogue, but that seems a bit too like, shut up, man. Because it's not really. I just get kind of embarrassed by my writing sometimes. Alright, so this is the last screen of the game. I didn't get much further than this because I couldn't think of a central mechanic to this area that I could actually implement. So give me one sec. but I couldn't think of an actual, let me restart. So this is the last screen of the game. I couldn't actually think of a central mechanic for this area. I do like the kind of weird crystalline aesthetic with the trees in the background, even though you're deep into a mountain. I kind of keep that in the future versions. It's different. I don't know. The original gimmick for this was gonna be mine carts that you would kind of ride along, and there'd be like platforming sections and stuff, but I couldn't do moving platforms at the time. I simply just couldn't make moving platforms that worked well. That's the reason this whole game ended. Yeah. But that's where this one ends. And then we're immediately gonna go into a similar game that is real, and is finished. Where can I find it? I didn't actually set up where the folder is. Yeah, that works. So this came out in 2020, I think, is when Original Schism came out. And this did release. This is on the internet. You can go play this right now for free if you wanted. First game, like, actual kind of released, right? Is that music too loud? That music's fine for the moment. Now, again, we're skipping the dialogue. I ain't doing this. It's a very similar character design. It's just different way of portraying it. There's a slightly more updated version of this game that has the kind of in-between sprite of this character and the updated version from Greenhouse Schism that I send to friends when I want them to play the old version. Because, it's difficult, so it's fun to send to my friends and watch them squirm while playing it. I don't know if the whole game's difficult. The one section's really difficult, infamously. But this is what Original Schism looked like. Now this game is finished. Again, this game is finished, but it's basically a remake of that last project in a more complete form. I made this, I said 2020, right? But I can time it a bit more specifically. I made this in the Game Maker 2.3 beta. It started in the private beta. I applied for that and got it, but then the beta went public like a week later, so, you know. So this was messing in Game Maker, this was messing with structs and a bunch of stuff. And yeah, and I like that. Structs in Game Maker have made everything so much more manageable. I don't know. Game Maker since 2.3 has really just been like batting 100s in feature things. Now, not everything I'm going to use. I'm not going to use UI layers particularly. I like just programming the UI into positions. I ain't designing for multiple resolutions. I'm sticking to 16:9. That could change though. I feel like I'll use them at some point. But whatever. Anyway, first boss. Even if this game is finished, it's not particularly long. Sorry, I'm focusing, so I don't have to do this fight again. That's the boss. You beat it. Again, that's a design based on the antagonist from the previous thing, as you saw. But now we have the broom. The broom I didn't bring back in Greenhouse Schism, just because I didn't design anything around it. I didn't feel like I needed to, because the drop system of kill a boss, get a thing, didn't really come back. That isn't how it's designed. Because you're not really fighting the same antagonist the whole way like you are in this one. But one of my favorite things about the broom is I don't cap the velocity while you're not holding anything. So if you just broom and like jump, you just get so much speed. it's proper movement tech. But it makes everything post broom really fun to play. To me, to no one else. that should be stated. To no one else. This but like, yeah. It's just the amount of speed you can get. You saw, like, I just went flying. Because also it's paired with, if you double jump while going in a certain direction, while going in any direction other than nowhere, you get a little burst of speed. So if you double jump as well, you get extra speed. And it's just compounding movement stuff, like when flying. I kind of wish Greenhouse Schism had a bit of a movement tech thing, but I didn't want to implement any like additional movement stuff, because well, early on it was designed to be semi non-linear, so I didn't want to have like you go back and now things are just completely easy, but like, so that's why I didn't like bring the broom in really, but I don't have much movement stuff in that. It still feels fine. It's still fine to play Greenhouse Schism. But this is a thing I miss that I'm still probably not going to bring back. Alright, so I shouldn't skip over this. This is the infamous section. This is the Schism Killer. This is the great filter of who you can do. So basically there's this projectile that follows you around. And I'm pretty good at dodging it because I made the goddamn game. But for the life of me, again, I'm good at dodging it, but I don't understand how people are so bad at dodging it. But you know, whatever. This thing follows you around, and you have to do a little course to get through while avoiding it. And it takes people. Then again, a lot of my friends that I got to play this don't play platformers too often, so it's a learning curve. But once you get to here, which is the end, and they're like, "Oh, I'm finally completing it. Oh, I've got like 1 health left. I just skirted by it," and then you have to fight a boss. It's really funny to see the reaction. Oh my god, it's really funny because they Greenhouse Schism doesn't have this mechanic of this thing that follows you. It was originally meant to. And people got mad at it all over again, and I took it out. So, be thankful. You can still probably find in the code the old version of certain areas that has it. And it's rough. It's good. I like it. No, it's not. What we got is so much better. Now, there's 2 paths in the game to take. There's going up, and if you backtrack, there's a path towards the secret ending. Now, I'm not gonna backtrack and get the secret ending, because it's boring and harder. Because it's just this area now, the so-called Frozen Over. And more of that projectile that follows you for that fight, it's just more level design designed around that. Where up here has like, not unique level design, but it's more design. I know it's cooler. I really like the song in this area. I'm gonna crank it up a bit. That might be a bit too loud for the stream. I got actually no idea. So I got it in here. Now we've got the bubble, which is basically just free move, so it kind of invalidates a bunch of stuff like the broom. But you're on a timer and kind of have to get around corners and stuff. That's the design of it. That's whatever. It's fine. Again, I did not bring the bubble back because I don't like the bubble in Greenhouse Schism. There's no actual, like, you just get different attacks. You don't get mobility options. I mean, the broom's technically an attack. It can hurt things. Oh, whoops. But it is completely not worth it damage-wise. We got these spike ball things that spin around. I really like the positioning of the save point of just being in the middle of it. I like it. Now we can do that to get through. Something I haven't mentioned is at the end of each boss fight we get more mana, which basically allows us to triple jump now. Just because it's a use of whatever we have. Damn. Alright, let's be less reckless. Those my words and my actions did not line up. Alright, the actual intended way to do this other than the broom is to kind of just wait in the middle. Damn. But it's a part of the song that I like. I like the drums coming in. It takes this kind of weird, like, empty, dreary song and adds a bit like of a weird kind of triumphant part to it. I like it. I was gonna bring it back for Greenhouse Schism, but it didn't fit up how I kind of retooled this area. But yeah, there is a slightly updated version of this song that goes unused. Another thing to point out, I'll point it out when it gets to the part of the song, actually. But there's a reused instrument in most of the songs in this. It's the tubular bells. Now that's very much inspired by Calamity, the Terraria Calamity mod, having the tubular bells that reoccur. Whatever, you've heard them. They're in the background. I'll play a snippet if I edit this stream or anything, whatever. So last boss. Now this boss has a buffed version if you're on the other ending, but also you're buffed, so it kind of is way easier because you have a homing attack. I do kind of also just spam stuff. That's what I do. I spam boss projectiles. That's how I designed things back then. How did anyone beat this? I really don't get it. It's also just, there's no variation to how you attack in any of these fights. Watching people play, they try to kind of attack piecemeal and not spam it, but like it's always been designed around spamming it. You're meant to get in as much as you can, and like while getting kind of starved out for other attacks. But this is the end of this game. And again, this one's not unfinished. This one's released. This one's playable. It came out in like 2020. It's on itch.io under just Schism. But you shouldn't play this version. You should play the new version. That's completely different. Okay, please let me win. Damn it. I didn't action to the spike wall quick enough. I'm losing in my own game. I said earlier that I have a slightly updated version of this that I send to friends that isn't the remake. It's not the remake. That version also has a harder difficulty mode, which, because I was meant to update the online version with it, and I never did because I didn't finish the kind of rework. And the harder difficulty mode is torture. It's unplayable. I had a friend that was like, yeah, I can do it on the harder difficulty, and like, I had to I had to get their save and edit it, because it's really just nothing. What the? I kind of forgot I can triple jump. Alright. Now we're doing the real strategy here. I'm just gonna spam so aggressively we outpace the bullets. Like, I'm gonna try to dodge, but come on, come on. Alright. We did it. It's an ending. Yo. Devil end, bad end, you know, blah, blah, blah. And that's how the game ends. The game ends. There's zero fanfare. Oh my god, my model just freaked out. Zero fanfare. Uh, that's how it ends. Now, that's the last project I have prepared today. Now, again, that one's finished. But before I close out stream, after we're continuing the Schism lineage, I'm gonna promote it. So this is, come on, load. The window's not loading in OBS. Let me pick the right program. This is Greenhouse Schism. I remade this. This came out a couple weeks ago. It is a remade version of Schism to fill out the lore and stuff a bit more. We'll ignore the dog barking if that's coming through. But you can see it's much, it looks much better. Oh, is it coming through? Yeah, okay, no, it is on stream. It looks much better than that. Now, I'm not going to play through this because it's considerably longer. I'm going to play for a bit and then kind of dip, I think. But, and yeah, you can see this is a much more extensive thing. Looks much prettier. Thanks to Rice Noodle Brain, good friend of mine, for making the backgrounds on Instagram. And yeah, check this out on Steam, Greenhouse Schism, if anyone wants to see it. If I do make an edit of the stream or whatever, it'll be up on screen. The whole purpose of this was to chill. I have to chill. So you can see these frog sprites have carried over. They're pretty much the same. They're originally from a Terraria mod. I have no music turned on. What am I doing? But these are originally from a Terraria mod that I scrapped the frog designs, so that's neat. And yeah. Actually, there's one last relevant thing to mention about this game. Now, I don't want to spoil it, because again, the game came out like a week ago, so you should play it if you want to see more about that. But if I bring up the OST... No, switch tab. Sorry, the thing I've got that as the little playing thing is this is a song that's in the game. I've got the OST up on the Clam Shandy YouTube channel, which you should check out if you want to see my music. No, I mean yes, but and this is just to bring back to a previous point while making this song as a few things because it's such a simple thing. I inserted the white space motif, so you can see it's in now. And that's neat. It's just something I added in while trying to fill out the song, but having that motif come back, I feel like is nice. It's a significant thing, because it's the first piece of music I composed to be used in a game, so having it come back in my made like this is the first real project that this is a full thing. It's my first time releasing a thing on Steam. It's out, it's real, like it's in a significant product now. It's weird to say, and I like that quite a lot. Let me quickly... This is probably one of my favorite songs from the soundtrack. I made it for a different project. I should have talked about Juniper. I have old shorts for a project I was working on called Juniper. That was like a Terraria clone that I still want to make one day. It's set in the same universe as this game. Um, I should have talked about that. We can always do part two. I have plenty of things. I have plenty of things to talk about. I've been like developing games since like, when did Undertale come out? Yeah, yeah. That's the jumping off point, ain't it? When did Undertale come out? Is it 2014, 2015? Yeah, around 2015, 2016. That's when I started developing games. Um, but yeah, thanks for stopping by. That's my intentions for this stream. I've been met. I played for a bunch of my old projects. Thanks for stopping by. Uh, and we can switch to my cool thanks for watching screen. Uh, I'm just gonna leave this up for a minute or two and then close stream. But yeah, thanks for stopping by.